Joyanne Reed, who I am a fan of, has done a great job in contextualizing this idea of affirmative action and competition and equity within her videos and streams. I think it leads to a very fair question of, well, why do people want to attend elite colleges? Elite colleges within America only make up a very small fraction of the larger offerings of colleges and universities. Many of these universities, Harvard, Yale, University of Chicago, they kind of have a situation where the demand exceeds the supply. You have more people knocking on the door to get in than they can handle. Now, there's two ways to think of this. In one fashion, you think, well, given the technology, given all of the resources available, why don't they broaden their offerings? Why don't they make it more acceptable for more people to come through the doors? Through hybrid learning, through additional course selections. That conversation can get a bit sticky when you talk about faculty, talent, and also the importance of creating curriculum. I think another piece of this argument that we have to look at is why the fervor for elite colleges. I think from its inception, this idea of college came into being because people wanted to create a better way. At one point, the idea of college was thought about as a way to kind of change your future, change your trajectory. Even within the New York Times, every single year, they create a list of the 100 most influential people within America. Overwhelmingly, the people on that list went to those elite colleges. And so the question kind of remains, can you be successful without going to an elite college? Joyanne Reed made the argument that she was recruited by Harvard. She is a Harvard graduate. She is on a major primetime network show. Could she have landed there had she gone to Sac State? Could she have landed there had she gone to a local school within her area? She was a phenomenal student. She checked off every single box with respect to excellence. So why the idea of an elite college? I think within life, it's this idea of positioning. You have to kind of put yourself where you think you can be the most successful. So then the other side of that is, can you be successful going to a regular college? Could you land as a CEO of Disney? Could you be on MSNBC? Could you be on a big primetime show or in a big movie house without those kind of connections? And the reality is, chances are you can't. I think earlier I gave a conversation about this idea of the camouflage of connection. And sometimes being adjacent to power benefits you in a lot of ways. So as we continue to have these conversations about affirmative action, as we continue to have these conversations about the fallout of the Supreme Court, I think you have to look at it with respect to structures, the school themselves, the systems that run the schools, the structures, and the people and the systems and the structures that they impact. There's myriad ways to look at this phenomenon and understand it. I think one part of me thinks that there's a lot of great institutions out there that could impact a young person. We all can't be in the movies. I am a first generation student who went to state schools and kind of figured it out. Who knows, had I been a Columbia student, had I been a Harvard student or a Yale student, what that trajectory might have been down the road. But nevertheless, we can't get hung up on the fallacy and the idea that that's the end-all be-all. I think it's important to remember most entrepreneurs never went to college. Be well.